guys, this is Mary. You're watching Cardz TV. I was going through some of my Cricut cartridges and looking at the manuals. I love to do that because you always find things you didn't know were on there. No matter how many times you look at them, you'll find something new. And I did not realize that this little girl and dog were in Country Life. And when I saw her and this little dog, I knew I had to make this card. And I also used encouraging thoughts stamps from Cardz TV. And there's big hugs right there. And I thought that was perfect to go on this little card. This is a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch card. And it's on ivory cardstock. And believe it or not, the blue paper here and for this first mat is from a Die Cuts with a View Christmas stack from last year. But it doesn't really look Christmassy, but I loved it with these papers. Now this little flowered paper came from a stack that I got at Walmart the other day, one of those color book $5 stacks, and I love this with it because it's got the little polka dots and the little flowers, and I thought it went so well with this image. But this blue mat in the background is 4 by 5 1/4. The flowered mat is 3 3/4 by 5. And like I said, I used Country Life for my little girl and dog. And let me find that manual. Here we go. And you'll find the little girl and dog right there on page 35. And I cut her and all her layers at 4 3/4 inches. Now, it does cut a bow for her hair, but it was very tiny. So I just took some pink braiding cord and tied a tiny little bow, and it was not easy, but it turned out pretty good. And I've attached it with some glossy accents. I just put a little drop on there and added the bow, and it's on there very securely now. But I love this little dog. Now, it doesn't cut an eye for him, so I just took my Zig black pen and put a little eye there, and I also put some black on the end of his nose just to give him a little bit more personality. And I have inked around him and the little girl's overalls and her hair with some creamy brown chalk ink from Colorbox. Also, it cut holes for her eyes, and even though her bottom layer is a dark gray, you couldn't see them, so I also used that same Zig black pen to enhance her eyes. And I took a Copic marker in blush, and it cuts a tiny little line for her mouth, and I just went across it with that little Copic marker just to like she's got a little bit of lipstick on, I guess. But for this background, I used Elegant Edges, and that background piece, I cut the shadow in the ivory and then the blue, and that's on page 51, and it's this one right here, Butterfly 2. And I cut the shadow and also the top part in blue at 3 1/4 inches, and just layered them on my card because I knew I was going to pop up the little girl and the dog, and they're on 2 thicknesses of foam tape. And then I took the Encouraging Thoughts stamp, Big Hugs, and I used some Stays On black ink and stamped that right up there. And I added 3 tiny little ivory colored buttons just to, really draw your eye to that Big Hugs. But I love how this turned out. This is one of my favorite cards that I've done in a while, just because of this little girl and this dog. I think they're so cute. And that is a hidden treasure that you'll find on the Country Life cartridge. But I love how well the Cardz TV stamp went with this one as well. So I'm going to be exploring my cartridges some more and see what other little hidden goodies I can find on there and turn into cards. It's just so much fun making cards, isn't it, guys? It's just a real love of mine, and I know it is yours too. But thanks so much for coming by today, guys. I'll see you again really soon. Bye now.